Hi guys, KamilSec here with another security vibes. Today we're going to be looking at our browser security and privacy. How important is it to check our browsers, making sure they are not outdated, making us vulnerable, and also how much information our browsers reveal about us. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so the first one we're going to be looking at today will be the Qualys browser security check. And the URL is right there. So this is a very good way to actually examine your website or examine your browser to make sure your browser is not or your browser is up to date. If your browser is not up to date, which means there are some upgrades, some patches that you're missing and stuff like that, and that could make your browser more vulnerable to attack by hackers and script kiddies and what have you. And you might be able to lose a whole lot because somebody can steal your identity if you're using a vulnerable website. So let's get into it and then see how we're going to be able to test some of these things. But before that, let's get into another website that says Panopticlick browser tracking check. So what this does is it actually checks our browsers to make sure our browsers are not revealing a lot of privacy issue about us, like the site we visit, the e-commerce site we visit, what we ordered, what are we looking at, and then for targeted advertisement by some of these guys, because everything we do online is there are some people or there are some algorithms that are being used to track exactly what we do online, what site we visit, what restaurants we're looking at, and all the information that everything that we visit on the site is being tracked pretty much, and then these guys will be able to sell our online behavior to the telemarketers or to the online marketers to what have you, and then everybody would just be sending us an advertisement based on our browser usage, right? So in order to prevent that, this site here, Panopticlick, is very, very important. You can check your browser to make sure or to see if your browser has a privacy issue or your browser is revealing a lot about you that could that could compromise your privacy. All right, so let's go into it. Okay, so let's get into it. So we're gonna test our the Google Chrome browser, and we're gonna go and click on scan without installing. So this will test our browser to see if our browser has any or is missing any security update. And as you can see, this browser is not missing any security update. It says, congratulations, you passed the Qualys browser check. So it means that we are up to date with our Google Chrome. All right, so let's turn around and look at the Panopticlick and see how this browser is doing in terms of what privacy or in terms of tracking. How is this browser revealing a lot about us that can be used to track us? All right, so I'm gonna go to test me. All right, so as you can see, you see right off the back, this is telling us that it's your browser blocking tracking ads. It's not fully doing that. It's your browser blocking invisible trackers. It's not fully doing that. That's your browser stop trackers that are included in the so-called acceptable ad whitelist. It's not doing that either. That's your browser unblock third party that promise to honor do not track. Yeah, it is not doing that either. So does your browser protect you from fingerprinting? That is not. So pretty much this browser is revealing a lot about us when we go online, taking care of our business. But in order for you to, for us to go over this, we can install the privacy badger, and then the privacy badger will be able to limit the amount of information that we are revealing revealing on ourselves or about ourselves. All right, so let's install that real quick, and then we can add it to our Google Chrome, add the extension. All right, so now we thank you for installing the privacy badger. We have the privacy badger on our browser. So now let's test again to make sure that our browser is not revealing so much about us in terms of privacy. All right. So in as much as even though we installed the privacy badger, we are still not being protected fully by, our privacy is still not being protected fully because we still have some of these things that are still known, that is not being. The only thing that we're being protected against is does your browser stop trackers that are included in the so-called acceptable ad whitelist, you know, that is being taken care of. All right. So when you go down, to let's check our. I'm going to check my Firefox and see how the Firefox is doing. All right. So I'm going to rescan again. All right, so right off the bat, we can see that congratulations, you passed your Qualys browser check. So our Firefox is not doing bad in terms of update. We are up to date with all our updates. So now let's look at the Panopticlick. So when I did the test, it says that everything is up to date. It means that I have my badger. And again, Firefox is one of the secure browsers out there. That's why a lot of security folks are using the Firefox. So we can retest this and see if we're going to get the same result. All right, so you see, as you can see, we got the same results as the results that we saw previously. So it means that I installed the privacy badger on Firefox, and it works perfectly because of the way Firefox code is being developed. So it means that it protects me from a lot of these online trackers, and also protect my privacy whenever I'm using Firefox to do my web, what have you. So that's why for some reason I always like to use Firefox when I want to increase my privacy online. But we can go back into the Panopticlick site, and then I'm just want to show you something. You see, when you go down here, when you click on Learn More, they tell you that in order for you to achieve the maximum privacy, you know, they recommend you to use what a browser called Tor browser. Use Tor browser, right? Browser fingerprinting is a powerful method of tracking users around the internet. There are some defensive measures that can be taken with existing browsers, but none of them are ideal. In practice, most realistic protection is using the Tor browser. So again, when you use the Tor browser, it protects you against a lot of these privacy issues. That's why a lot of time people use browser, but Tor browser is not allowed for most countries and most locations. So you can check and see if your location, your country allows you to use the Tor browser, then your best browser would be a Tor browser. And this is how the Tor browser looks like. So see, this is the Tor browser. You open up the Tor browser, you start it up, this is how you're gonna see it. The Tor browser is gonna be like this. Blow it up for you, it's not recommended though, but for the sake of what I'm demonstrating, you can blow it up. All right, so this is the Tor browser, and this is exactly how it looks like, right? And then when we run the Panopticlick on that, you see, it's also one of the safest out there. It protects you against all of this tracking. All right, so there you have it. The browser selection can also determine how your privacy can be revealed online. So if you're big on privacy, you can always use the Tor browser if it is allowed in your locality. If it is not allowed, then your best bet would be to use the Firefox browser, which has a bit more security and privacy than Chrome and Internet Explorer, at least in my opinion. I might be wrong, but you can see from this demonstration. All right, that's all we have for the browser check for security update and privacy. Thank you again for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give us a like, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe for more video. With